So this is Harley Gaffney from the United Devils, and I'm still a bit vexed after the game last night. We should have definitely gone up into third place. We bottled it at the end, and we didn't turn up today. To put it blatantly, I've chilled out a bit from last night. I mean, as I said, I was really vexed, but we can still get top four. It's not all doom and gloom, and it's not the end of the world, but just disappointing really. So getting into the game, how we started it was worse than we started it against Villa. I mean, if you look at the last fixture, Villa were probably the better team for the first 20 minutes. And in this game, Southampton battered us at Old Trafford for about 15 minutes. Absolutely got destroyed. Couldn't get the ball out of our own half, let alone probably a third, mate. We barely got the ball out of the third. It was shocking. Their pressing was just doing us in. We were weak to that press. They completely used the right tactics. Southampton's strong points in the game are probably pressing and set pieces, and we were vulnerable to both of them. It was pathetic. We obviously didn't come into this game and prepare for what Southampton were going to try and do. So, as I said, we struggled to handle the press. Pogba, he kept on losing the ball, and don't get me wrong, Pogba is such a good player. And his creativity is awesome, and his long passing, yeah, we all know that. And a lot of United fans, make the argument, he's better than De Bruyne, he's the best in the league, and you can make the argument strong. But when he's doing stuff, like he was doing in their Southampton's first goal, losing the ball and then doing it again, it's a hard argument to make, because I don't see Kevin De Bruyne doing that. That was poor from Pogba, and he knew it. But he's still a really good player, you can never take it away, but I just didn't turn up today, Pogba. I also noticed as well, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was poor again. Don't get me wrong, he's still one of the best right backs, and I've still got no questions over him being the future right back at United. But he was shocking again. He was shocking against Villa. I don't think he had his best game against the fixture before that, Bournemouth. Like, he hasn't been the same player since lockdown. But, he's still only 22. He's going to have dips in form. He's been probably our player of the season up until now. But, he has had a dip in form, which is going to happen. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully he can come out of it, because his passing was poor. He was one of the worst players in that first half. But, after Southampton scored that first goal, about that first goal as well, it's a tricky one, obviously. Pogba's mainly at fault. But the centre-halves, you can't really blame that much, I don't think. I mean, maybe they could have done better, because I think it was Armstrong at the back. He was completely in space, and you can't be allowing him to be in space. But it's not the worst defending. It's just a very tricky position to defend from when we've lost the ball there. I thought after we retaliated to Southampton's first goal, our best players were probably Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw and Anthony Martial, because they all had very good first halves. Lindelof was looking like a really good centre-half. He was looking like a good player. Throughout this whole game, up until the end really, he was looking really good. He looked like the player that we were buying from Benfica, because he looks really good there. If we didn't concede that pathetic goal at the end, Lindelof would have probably been man of the match, I think. I was literally thinking that. Luke Shaw, he was so good today. I think Luke Shaw's probably been our best, most consistent, solid player since the restart of the Premier League. He's getting forward and back really well. His passing's been good. Luke Shaw's just been tidy, honestly. He's been playing the right passes up the line. Really good, Luke Shaw. And I'm worried about that injury. Hopefully he can get better pretty soon, because that's a big worry. And now Martial, I think people are forgetting that first goal. That's a big credit to him there. I mean, yeah, he probably should have scored before even Southampton scored, if you remember when they made that bad pass back. But, it wasn't shocking. It was a good save from, I think McCarthy is the Southampton goalkeeper, I'm not sure. But we need to be doing better there. Martial needs to be scoring there. But credit to him for the assist for the first goal. And that second goal was awesome, the way he's just gone past the players like they're not there and then buried it. I thought the ref had a bad game today. Southampton were really dirty in this game. I think it's Romeu, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call him Romeu. he should have been sent off for that tackle on an 18-year-old Mason Greenwood. That was dirty. He's gone in there with his studs up and he's just kicked him. The ball was miles away. He should have been sent off. It was pathetic. I think VAR, other than offside, just seems to back whatever the referee wants to do. So, shocking from VAR there. People are coming out and saying, a lot of these things about United. Oh yeah, Varchester United VAR and that, yeah, biased and that. No, it's not the case at all. A lot of these penalties we're earning, 99% of them are penalties, and you can't complain about that. So that's just a load of rubbish there, and it shows it today. We should have had more decisions against Southampton. They could have had 3 players sent off. Of course, Romeo should have been sent off. You could argue Ward-Prowse should have been sent off, and I think it's their centre off Stevens. Is it Stevens should have been sent off? Dirty elbows into everyone's heads and stuff like that. Southampton were dirty. Poor referee decision, but I'm not gonna take it away from them because Southampton played really well today. They were the better team. Their pressing worked and they worked hard and they deserved it from this game. Let's be honest. So yeah, and as I said, we responded to the goal really good straight away, and the way we responded to that goal, our best form of defence was attack, and we should have just done that the whole game. If we'd done that the whole game, then we could have battered Southampton. We should have buried more goals, after we scored the first 2 early on in, and we would have won this game. So as I said, it was a great response to the goal. Rashford is definitely been improving every game slowly since lockdown. Today was his best game. Running up and looking good with Martial. Should have scored in the second half. Well, it was very good defending. It was a really good tackle, but that was great play from him and Martial. So we're unlucky there. When we conceded the second goal, we were actually playing with 10 men, as I'm sure most of you know, because obviously Williams had been brought on for sure. He was injured, and then Williams got injured in the collision. I don't remember the Southampton player. And I think the rule was, you're allowed to make 5 subs. We'd made 4, but it's got to be on 3 different interval occasions. And obviously it wasn't. So we got unlucky there. I don't know why that rule's there. Probably just to save time, but whatever. Yeah, so we were unlucky for that reason because we were playing with 10 men. The player who scored for Southampton over Femi was actually brought on as a substitute for Romeo, and he should have been off in the first half. So it's another poor decision from the referee. But Southampton deserved a point from this game, and overall we did not turn up today. So I'm going to get onto my player ratings. I've seen a lot of people give David De Gea a bad rating. Not sure why. His passing wasn't too bad today. He made a few dodgy passes. But there's nothing I think he can do about that goal. And that save he made in the second half when we were 2-1 up was awesome. That was a top quality save there. That was a big save, and that could have been game changer. I think people were forgetting that. David De Gea deserves at least 7 in my opinion. As I said, Wan-Bissaka was poor, so I'm giving him a 5. He's just having a dip in form, and he needs to sort it out. His passing's poor, and he wasn't helping the team at all today. Lindelof would give a 7. Lindelof, potentially could have even had a 9 if he would have actually won this game, because he was so good up until he bottled it at the end, just like we all bottled it, because he's the wrong side of the defender, and it's not all his fault, but he needs to be doing better there. It's poor from Lindelof. Shocking. We could have won this game if he weren't doing that. But, nonetheless, I gave him a 7 because he was still good in the game. But, at the end there, that's terrible. Bowled it. Harry Maguire, 6.5. I could have even given him a 6. He's supposed to be our captain, and I'm not comfortable with Harry Maguire. I don't know. He frustrates me because sometimes he looks like so good. He's a strong player in the air and that, and sometimes he just looks shocking. I don't know. I think he looked better last season when he was at Leicester than he does now. But I gave him a 6.5 because in the game he was okay. Defended well with Lindelof up until that second goal. Luke Shaw, I've given an 8.5 because he was, you could argue would have been man of the match if he weren't taken off and injured. He was really good, his running up and his passing, etc. But I'm worried about that injury. I hope he is better. So yeah, it's an 8.5 for him. Matic, I gave a 7 because he was solid. I didn't see him make any big mistakes. and he did his job, but he didn't have a standout game, so I gave Matt just 7. Pogba, I've given a 5. This was his poorest game since lockdown. Both Pogba and Bruno did not turn up today, which could have been why, we didn't score as many goals as we have been and play as well. But I don't know why, but Pogba and Bruno did not turn up today, so I gave Pogba a 5 because he can't be losing the ball. He didn't have a shocking game. He still did some good passes and that, and I don't think he should have come off for Fred. I think Pogba stays on, we win that game, but nonetheless I've given him a 5. Greenwood a 6 because he barely got the ball. He was trying things. I think they were trying to get the ball to him, but I think Southampton must have worked on keeping Greenwood quiet today. He didn't have a poor game. He wasn't poor or anything, so I've gave him a 6, just a standard. He's going to have quiet games. Bruno, I've gave a 5.5. Oh, you could give him a 6, I suppose, but I've given him a 5.5 because he was, by his standards, he was poor today. Didn't get the ball much, so Southampton must have worked on him as well. They definitely kept him quiet. He still got his assist nonetheless, but I've given him a 5.5. Rashford, I've gave it 8 because Rashford was one of the best players today. He was up and down. He was looking dangerous, fast. One of our best players today. Martial, I've gave it 8.5 because he was really good today. That second goal was quality. The first goal he does well to set it up, and he played really well today, Martial. Brandon Williams, I gave a 6.5 because I thought he was okay when he came on. Just okay. Quite, a bit of good defending. Fred, I've gave a 6, just standard really when he came on. Didn't make any errors or anything. Dan James gave a 5. I thought he was poor. This was his chance to be a threat, and he did stuff like when we were on our last attack, just push the Southampton player when we could have potentially earned a corner or something. Poor from Dan James. I really do question his actual football ability. Scott McTominay, I give a 6 just because it was a standard performance, but that's it for the player ratings. We just didn't turn up today. Our big players didn't turn up. That's probably why we didn't win. Should have done better, but it's not the end of the world. I think we'll still get top 4. And this has been me. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Gaffney H02, so GAFFNEY H02, and I'll see you next time.